Who is it? A question that we've definitely stepped around. Who is it? Who's the one that set things up dealing with this Tentacion situation? Who is it? Another question around it, how many? Because we know one person could not have been useful in this. Now, according to a lot of different things that I've done in my media, if you go back and check it out, the many different guests I had on, they brought up these concepts consistently. And that's my thing. When you have consistent concepts stepping out, it really makes you begin to think about what the nature of the situation was. Was it wealth? Was wealth the indication? Was it fame? Was it clout? You know there's a new clout song out with Nicki Minaj and Offset. What's the level of clout to it? You know, a lot of people post clout on the people that speak about it, but is it not clout on the people trying to prevent the subject from becoming a relevant topic? These are the things that we don't really talk about. I don't think it is something that we give enough attention to. Who is it is such a simple question, but at the same time, it defines everything. Because the who is going to provide insight into the how many. The how many is going to provide insight into the possible motive. These things build like a house. It's mathematically useful. It's mathematics. It's the basics. So it's back to the basics for us. Understanding these different things, it's never easy. But it's definitely back to the basics of understanding. There were so many factors that were enacting, so many situations that popped up. I spoke about a lot of them, and there were some I didn't. And my reasoning behind why I didn't speak about certain things was not because of relevancy. It was to gather more information to understand exactly what it was that attracted people to make the moves they did with X. If you go back and you check the series, literally things we were talking about were happening right after. And if they weren't happening right after, they happened in general. Is that normal? Let alone that that's the situation. Was it fair, the predicament that different people were put in because of the situation? And by that, I mean careers. I mean family, people they love, being accused of it, and not one word being said to affiliates that were hanging around the situation and had some evidence of disrespect towards his passing. Nothing was said. We seen who stood for him, but no one said anything. I sat back and watched you. You said nothing. Yet they wanted to say everything to me. Then there's different things and narratives that are arising. People taking a full-on view of really interpreting what's happening as the fact that it had to be this person, it had to be that. We discussed it objectively. That was the difference. Now, Mad Scientist, you all met that. I re-uploaded that. I had some issues on the backside dealing with what was allowed and what wasn't with that. So I changed some things up. But now that we have that together, I'm asking, who is it? Who is it? In your opinion, who is it? You see, let me give you a little taste of the swirling narrative. On the left, we have us, TheCzarr, all rights reserved, CommenterNation, greatest nations, United Nations in the building. That's looking into a situation involving other different socialites we speak to. Then there's the socialites who come against us and what we're talking about. Then there's a situation that has to do with a person with a past that's similar to this. Then there's a situation dealing with investigators not getting all the evidence but demanding more of the suspects. Then it's the suspects itself. How'd you track them down? Then we're looking at footage missing from the car, from the bank, from the narrative. Why are all of these things swirling? And is this normal with a normal investigation? Show me one other investigation that went like this. Show me one other scenario that happened this way. And to those of you who are YouTubers, once again, type in Tentacion's name, his full rap name, XXX Tentacion, and see, is it a keyword? See it. See what it gains. It gains nothing. It does nothing. It's impossible to get pulled off of just using that tag alone. It's impossible. It takes a lot more research and hard work than that. Why would they paint the narrative for you publicly if they're so smart and they notice? Why would they try to demean character? I am seeing a level of wealth that there is to gain for someone attacking the way they have, to use so many vesicles, to link up with so many different people to attack a common goal. And they're not attacking the concept of justice for TheCzarr. They're attacking people. Do you get this? What don't you get? They're attacking people. Who is it? Who is it that is working in favor? Who is it that is working against? Who is it? It's that simple. A very simple concept. Nonetheless, it's sensible. Who is it? We can ask this to anyone. Who is it? Who is it? The thing is, before we plan it on someone, we need some type of evidence or mentality around it. What if the question was it who is it as much as it was all of you in some way, shape, and form? What if we looked at all the suspicious levels and we said it was you this way, it was you this way? That's why I did a video called Oceans 11, 12, 13 or more. Don't you get it? Everything's dropped in concepts, even if it's in a way that doesn't predict a specific outcome. It literally is, so you could think broader, so you could think bigger. We do critical thinking on that topic. That's part of why I introduced it that way. And there's many different investigations. I have a long list. I've done this so long. My list is so long. And I have a lot more of investigations you're going to do, and you're going to be entertained thoroughly because it gets deep. Because I haven't even slid back to the Kanika thing. You know, shout to the other people I named doing research. If you kept up, you realize that got deep. The who is it is the same way as this. That's why I mentioned it. The Kanika and the Tentash, the who is it is so similar. It's scary. It's scary. It's like, whoa, the similarities are vast. You got all these people around who happen to know nothing but spoke on it a certain way, but then turns out their affiliations and connections grow deeper. Then you see them posted taking pictures with certain people. You're like, why are they taking pictures there? That's how deep it runs. That's seriously how deep it goes. And that's why you got to stay focused on the objective term and the objective means, because if we take one step that way, we'll miss the step happening here. See it like basketball. Full court defense. Zone. If you're playing full court man to man, are you going to play it like you play zone D? Not at all. There's specific ways to do things that make sense. We're zoning out. Now, we're going to get into something next, and I don't know if it's similar. Shout out to this socialite. You know, I'm going to just give some respect on Lay's name because I see a lot of what's going on, and I understand where she's coming from. I always give respect to my viewers when they have a good point. When I mention something, I'm not going to just mention it without giving credit, especially if you talked about it and you're who my thought came from. I just work authentic that way, and I can't do it any other way. But the topic, who is it, is the centralized theme that we're going to see repeat itself over and over and over and over again, because that is the question. Who is it? Who's out of place? Who is it that gained the most? Who is it that is trying to capitalize off of his direct wealth and take food out of his alleged child's mouth, out of his mother's mouth? We're seeing people that are threatening and interacting with them, and the people you see saying stuff to me aren't even addressing them. And if you're right by the situation, would you not address that? Unless you had something to gain off of it. You see, it can seem so intricate, like there's a lot going on. But when that's happening, throughout the storm, you zone in on the target. That's when you begin to see what's funny. That's when you say, who is it? You get what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. And to a lot of people that are just now joining, go check out the RIP XXXTentacion playlist. And if you start there, that will give you all the insights you need. You can give your opinions. A lot of people are looking through that and commenting. I'm getting a lot of comments throughout my whole series. So I'm beginning to understand, and yay or nay, do I respond? Yes. Because I'm still going to treat it as if you need to understand what it is we're getting to. Then we're going to get back to Theo Kalidoz's topic he brought in. Shout out to the UK. Greatest nation since United Nations. All rights reserved.